welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm LaWanda.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are here to talk about Raising Kanan. This is season 1, episode 4. Man, this was a good one. I'm really enjoying this this new spinoff of the Powerverse so far, and they just keep amping it up every week. So I'm in tune. I'm enjoying it.
I'm with it.
I am too.
All right, and if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back with you to get the recap started.
One burnt you, know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him. Swear that's the truth. So you can't trust that
All right, everyone, we are back. Like I said, we are talking Raising Kanan. This episode was titled Don't Sleep. And, you know, after Kanan said those words at the end of the episode, we kind of understood why. Because, yeah, you do need to be on the swivel in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Stay alert.
Mm-hmm.
I love
And you can't sleep on anybody. I took that to mean as well, because, you know, Kanan made a critical mistake, and Marvin did too. But it started with Kanan, because last week when he let Davina know, you know, when he ran outside, he pretty much let Davina know where the stash house was. And so that was the mistake. And Scrappy told him when Kanan was like, well, she's not in the game. Scrappy was like, everybody's in the game. Mm-hmm. And we saw that this week.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, you are absolutely right about Kanan. It's so funny seeing young Kanan to me, because just seeing all of these rookie mistakes. And, you know, the Kanan that we know never made a mistake. He was always on his toes, always sharp. So to see young Kanan and how he got to that point, I mean, he was just green as they come.
But that kryptonite.
But his mistakes are crucial. They've cost somebody their life. It's cost them their stash, this house, this money. So I think now you look at it, the reason he had to be so sharp is his early mistakes cost him a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, though, I blame Rock, because here you got a stash house that's not really secure. They blew the door open. But yet in the store, you put this 12 gauge door where they were stashing the cash and the drugs. You could have done that to your stash house too.
Well, the idea was to move everything into
exactly.
That's what they couldn't get to that point yet.
Yeah, but I'm saying once you establish that house as a stash house, you should have fortified it a little better than you did. Because I mean, what would you expect Kanan to do? Somebody blows the door wide open. There's nothing he can do at that point.
I agree, and they should have also had like armed security there too.
If Marvin was there at the time, he would have been shot.
Yeah. Kanan wasn't even supposed to be at the stash house. She had said, he was supposed to be in an after school program. So that's where Marvin was wrong. And look, speaking of Marvin, you know, the actor who plays Marvin, he wrote on his Instagram post, he was like, what are your predictions for episode 4? And I said, Marvin is going to get Kanan into some foolishness. And I said that without even seeing the episode. And he laughed and he said, to be fair, Kanan asked him to put him on. And I said, okay, but he's a child. I said, you should know better. And I said, and Rock is going to get you. And he laughed. But I was like, yeah, so he's a grown-up. And now we see why he is no longer in charge. And why they keep him out of the plans. Because
he's crazy.
He's short-sighted. I don't know why he didn't understand Rock's reason for not wanting Kanan present. You know, it's not only is it a stash house, the police could have busted in at any moment.
Right.
Okay, and then Ron, you addressed the lack of security. Okay, and also the fact that all of everything is kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Your whole stash is there. You don't have armed security. You don't have a lookout. You don't have a corner boy just standing there making sure nothing.
Nothing.
So I'm just like, wow.
I think, part in trying to follow her line of thinking is it seemed that it was like just this random house, right? And they were almost like hiding in plain sight. And so she was thinking, nobody's going to think anything's awry, just because it seemed like she had it where, you know, based on other movies, you have a house like that, as people running in and out. And it didn't seem like she had that kind of traffic there. So I think she was hiding in plain sight and nobody would have thought anything was amiss there.
I
was wrong.
I may agree with you, but if I was putting on my stash in a house like that, it would have been a minute to get through those doors.
And it don't help that Marvin is being hot, rolling up in this bright red Mercedes.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, but let's put the blame where the blame belongs. Look, Kanan getting involved with Davida and you know, trying to get his little love thing on with her, and Davida sold him out. That's just as simple as it is. And you know, I have to keep, you know, I'm gonna tell you, Tiffany.
She put her family first.
Tiffany, I don't agree with everything you say, but from this till death do us part, I'm always gonna remember when you said that women are a man's kryptonite, because we keep seeing it over and over and over again. So kudos, you coined it, and here we see it again. Kryptonite rules.
Well, she chose her mom. Like she wants her mom to get well and stuff. And so that's, you know.
Unique was just fishing. And she could have kept her comment, kept her statement. It wasn't like Unique didn't know what she had, you know, because she could have been telling the truth. I don't really know anything. You know, I'll help you out. I'll listen out. I'll find out for you whatever I can find out. But she just gave that up as quickly as she could, and then all hell breaks loose.
And again, that was Kanan's fault, because if he would have stayed his butt in the house, like Scrappy was like, "What are you doing?" And I think it's going to be detrimental when they find out, because, you know, I saw the previews. It looks like he's going to be on the hunt for who snitched and everything. And I think ultimately they're probably going to find out that Davina was behind it, because remember when he ran out there to talk to Davina, Scrappy was at the door. He saw Kanan talking to him, so he might be the one that speaks up and says, "Hey, Kanan ran out there. He was talking to this girl. She may have ran her mouth."
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, they seem to forget that she's still gonna be, you know, kind of salty about $120, right?
Right.
So that's the other part of it. She chose her mom, but he also put that out there. You know, if this is his boy, he had to know that he had something to do with it. And so she's still upset about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Unique played that well. I mean, he really got into her head.
He been playing chess the whole time.
The whole time.
The one thing that Marvin was right about is that, you know, Rock did everything, giving up the corners, all that stuff to avoid going to war. They're going to war anyway.
Right.
That's why Marvin was trying to choose violence to begin with, because he knew, like, we are already there.
Yeah. It sucks that they had to get to this point, though, because it's like right now they're playing tit for tat. We talked about how Dean is supplying both of them, and Rock, her corner boys got hit last week. And then at the end of the episode, we seen Unique's crew taking a hit where the cops had gotten their stash. And so now Rock is taking a double hit now, because the stash that she did have has been stolen, at least half of it. And so it's kind of like Dean is not giving either one. Well, he's been very hesitant to give either one of them. He told Rock, you know, you making it hot. And now he's telling Unique the same thing. So Dean is kind of in a bad spot where he has to hold up all his supply. He doesn't have anybody to distribute his drugs right now. So I think that's going to be a problem.
I'm sure he's got other, you know.
I'm sure. Other avenues, other people distributing too.
But what I wanted to bring up was Unique killing his boy Trash, putting a bullet in his head, you know, because here we go. Loyalty, you know, disloyalty. And, you know, he seemed to love Trash, but he didn't have a problem putting a bullet in it, you know, right between the eyes. He had no problem with that at all.
He was sad about it, but he did it anyway. Unlike Chance.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it, because it seemed like he was, you know, putting it on Trez G that, you know, he had been basically using, you know, he wasn't sharp on his feet in order to recognize that the police were present, you know, during that point in time. And so I was like, is he trying to suggest that he's at fault here?
He was.
And he was, but also,
I mean, no, I'm saying he is trying to suggest that he was at fault.
And I'm saying, like, if Trez G was using and he was under the influence of some sort and he maybe wasn't as sharp as he was supposed to be, does that warrant death though?
No, because he even said himself that it had rock stink all over it. So he was like, so he already knew rock was behind it. So why kill your man?
That's why I was saying, like, what was the reason to kill him? It seemed unjustified.
It may be, but I think if you think someone's a liability, the other part of it too, you know, they're always doing things to show the other people what will happen if you're disloyal, if you make a mistake, if you snitch, right? And so maybe Nick is a little, what's the word, unforgiving. Maybe he was a little extra, but there's always that. You're always making an example so the other people don't mess up.
Listen, I thought about New Jack City. I was like, CMB. So it's like when he said, am I my brother's keeper? He was like, yes, I am. And you know, he shed a tear, but he took G Money out because he was like, you're a liability.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I'm gonna use my word. He's just evil.
Here we go.
So what it is these people at that point, it becomes about self-interest, right? And if it's about me or you, I have to choose me, right? So what do you want me to do? Go to jail for you?
Well, I think too it was more just frustration because, you know, he can't move his product the way he wants to, needs to, can't get more product. And so I think with all that and the frustration, you know, it drove him, you know, to a point where he felt he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, he was already telling his guys, like, step on it even more. They was like, it's already stretched thin.
Right. Like, and they were trying to tell him, but, you know, he doesn't want to hear it. So now that he, you know, it's going to be interesting how he squares up with Rock, though, and it's going to happen, you know.
And I thought it was interesting, too, because, like, as they were sitting outside of the stash house, at first, you know, Unique was present and he was kind of like watching the scene. But then once they actually went to raid the house, like he sent his crew in. And so I wonder how Unique is going to feel once he realized that, you know, one of his men has been killed. I mean, I guess that's the risk of the job, but I'm sure he won't appreciate the fact that they killed his guy. So that's just going to amp the tensions up between him and Rock.
Well, there should have been another body, because if Marvin had any damn sense, he should have parked that car. Nobody saw him. He could have crept up, got them both while they were still in the truck. Not trying to ram the truck with his red Mercedes. I just didn't, you know, and then shooting through the window. Okay, dude, even though it's glass, the trajectory of the bullet is off. So you're technically probably not going to hit anybody anyways. So if you're going to shoot, you should have just jumped out of the car, crept up on them, and blew them away. You had a right. They were taking your goods. So Marvin is just, he's a liability to me. Marvin is a liability.
And I also think that this little fling that he is having with Tony is going to be a problem too. Because, I mean, I think that she thought he was one way. I think maybe she tapped into his softer side. But now she's realizing that, you know, like, he's got some issues. He doesn't want to cuddle. He thinks
like, I'm not a cuddling nigga. I was dying when he said that.
Yeah,
he took the dog back.
He's so worried about his image and masculinity and how it comes off that he feels like he can't even spare a moment to cuddle even with your woman.
It really says to me that ain't what he wanted from her in the first place.
Oh, of course.
You know, so, and she, you know, she was led to believe one thing, but he already knew what he wanted, you know.
Right. But I think that that's a mistake, though, because he's kind of dogging her out right now, but she is allowing them to sell in her club. So he's burning bridges there.
Yeah, again, not thinking.
And first of all, Rock doesn't like her no way. So it was already a conflict that he was dealing with her.
Yes.
He took the dog back. And I just think, you know, him not being able to be affectionate with her or anyone. I mean, you can see that with you. He doesn't have, he's not affectionate with her as well. So I think he does have an issue with women.
Yeah, I agree. I actually felt really bad for Jukebox, you know, after she realized that Famous had gotten studio time and he did next to nothing to get it. And she has been like scrimping and saving and stealing and, you know, doing everything she had to do to even scrape up some coins to get access, to even get a foot in the door.
The Famous is whack.
And as she's talking to Uncle Lulu, you know, he has access, he has connections, he knows these people, but they just have this thing about not wanting to be under someone's thumb and not asking for favors, which I understand. But I just felt a little bit of hurt for her. Yeah, I know how important it is to her and how much she really, like, she's hungry for it.
And Jessica's putting her, Jessica's doing what she's supposed to do. Like, Lulu was mad, and I understand why he was mad, because, you know, Camacho Crown is trying to, you know, he's trying to get on and everything. We know what he's trying to do. And Jessica, though, like, she like, right now, Lulu, you can do this.
Right.
But you're not doing anything with it. So right now, I'm in a position, I'm going to put my little brother on. So, I mean, I'm not mad at her for doing that. But
I'm mad at Lou, though. I'm mad at Lou. I'm
mad at him because he has the position to help Jukebox too.
Exactly.
He does. And then when Jukebox was saying to him, like, you know, Lulu was saying, like, you know, I could give you the money, but your father would say something. And I was like, so Marvin would hate on his own child for getting money from her uncle to pursue her dreams? I'm like, now that is deep. That's deep right there, that he would hate on that.
Well, I saw the preview next week. It looks like Lulu is going to try to help Jukebox at the studio. And I think because Jukebox said, listen, it's not so much the money I need from you other than the hookup. So I think in that preview, it looked like Jukebox was there at the studio, and Lulu was too. But Camacho was trying to trip on her in the preview, saying we need a professional singer. And I'm like, Jukebox can blow. And what's it called with his ABC raps, Famous? You know, I'm like, no.
And
no.
Right.
Camacho, I mean, the crowd Camacho is going to be a problem.
Once Camacho get wind of Jukebox and her vocals, Famous is infamous.
No, he was hating on her. He was hating on her in the previews though, and I think he hating on her not even because of her talent. Because it's Lulu's.
Because it's Lulu.
That's what it is. He'd be clear that he only helping Jessica because he's trying to get in.
Okay.
So my question is, you said she's doing what she should do, so you think it's cool for her to be flirting with him like that? And then
no, I don't know. I don't think it's cool for her to be flirting with him because you know Lulu is her man. I think it's cool that she's trying to look out for her brother. As far as trying to put her brother on, that's the only thing. I don't want her to. I don't want her to sleep with him. I don't want her to flirt with him. None of that. I don't want her to
hugging and flirting and stuff.
I don't have a problem with that.
She's doing too much with that. But as far as her intentions of trying to look out for her brother, you know, like as she told Lulu, like, you can do this. You know more than he does. And I don't have time. My timeline is not yours. I can't be waiting on you to do, like, Lulu, he seems he needs to push.
Well, that's what I'm about to say. My problem with Lulu, it seems like he's sprung. And he needs to take a step back on Jessica. Because, you know, Jessica's moving all around him. And he looks like he's like, you know, what's up with this? He's sprung with this chick. I mean, step it back. You know, because actually he could use Jessica to get Juke in. If he had any sense, but you know, he's allowing Jessica to, you know, kind of, you know, mold him, and I just don't like that look. I don't like what I see with that. You know, he doesn't seem as strong as I thought he was in the very beginning. I thought he would be a little stronger when it came to her. I thought he would be a lot stronger than what he's appearing to be at this point.
I think it's probably coming.
What'd you say, Tim?
Go ahead, Tiffany.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know why you're thinking that, because a lot of these power men, when it comes to their women, it's their Achilles heel. I mean, we saw it with Ghost and Angela, we saw it with Tommy and Holly. You know, when it comes to their women, that is their Achilles heel.
Okay, I'm getting sick of this. I'm getting sick of this now. So, you know,
Am I not wrong? But wasn't Holly a liability? Like with Tommy? That
unfortunately,
and Angela was Ghost's weakness. I mean, come on now.
It's true.
No, unfortunately, you are right.
And so what you're seeing with Lulu is a pattern. You know, listen, the men,
but Marvin is handling his situation with Tony though, and so
well, I don't know that he's really feeling Tony like he's putting on new.
And that's the way it should be. I mean,
Lulu is feeling Jessica. Like
right,
it looks like they have a real relationship. Right. Tony was,
right. Luke, he's sprung. He's just sprung.
Now, speaking of real relationships, it seems like Rock is trying to build a real relationship with Symphony.
Mm.
And I was like, I felt a little bad for Kanan this week where he was supposed to have, the mother-son night where he cooks dinner for her. And she ditched him to go out to dinner with Symphony. And he was like, nah, you knew.
Yeah,
you knew.
You knew.
And that's the thing. See, she's doing, I want happiness for her. She deserved to be happy. And she could kick it with Symphony. But there's a conversation to be had. The context of how you introduce these people to your man and stuff. There's a way to do it. So there's harmony. And that was always wrong. My issue with the Ghost situation was how he introduced the Angela and the kid situation. That was my issue.
Look,
but
going deep there.
Rock is doing the same thing. And that's why I'm having an issue with her about that.
And Rock could have very well said to Kanan on that special day, that day that they share, that Kanan cooks and she eats whatever he cooks. She could have said, look, I want to invite Symphony over. I want you to cook, but I want to invite Symphony so we can all have a sit down and eat.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kanan would have been cool with that, but she sprung it on him.
Boys are funny. Boys are funny. I son act like Kanan.
Yeah. I know, but I think that she could have convinced him otherwise. But like you said, to just pop in on him like that, because that's a special day for him. And even if she thought that he wouldn't deal with it, she could have just chosen another day to.
And it's a lot too fast. You gotta baby step him. I mean, not saying that she's not supposed to have somebody because she deserved to have somebody. She does. It's just a way. It's a way you do it. The way you introduce them, because it's always been her and Kanan since High Post died.
And the timeline of when you introduce them, because it seemed like it all just like you said happened so fast. And so it's like one day I walk in and this man is on my computer in his drawers. The next thing I know, he's sitting at my dinner table and
exactly
no heads up.
Exactly.
And she's the one that just keeps reiterating that it's always me and Kanan, and then she's breaking her own rule.
Right.
Well, I mean,
she told Symphony that Kanan came first, so she's breaking her own rule.
But I would hope that Kanan is smart enough to know that his mom needs a relationship outside of him.
Right.
I would hope he's smart enough to realize.
Boys don't think that moms need a relationship outside of them.
Hey, mama gotta have a life too.
Yeah. Look, don't you see that movie? A lot of times boys don't think like that.
I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
Right. I tell you, they don't think like that.
Well, I think that, Rocky, as she was dropping Kanan off to his class, she was kind of like, I really want you to like Symphony. And then he walks in and Symphony is his professor.
So she drew that up. She must have drawn that up. She drew that up.
So I'm like, you set him up. Like, you keep putting him in these predicaments. I'm like, dang. Like,
and that's what's going to make Kanan hate him even more. Because she keeps, putting him in these situations, wanting him to like this guy. But she can't keep setting up Kanan. Kanan's smarter than that. So, she's going to step this back a bit.
He didn't seem upset to me, though, that
I think he was more shocked.
He was shocked. He was shocked. Yeah.
And I think that next week we'll probably see, what he really has to say about that. Mm-hmm. Unless he sees it as an easy A, and and if he's smart, that's another way to look at it. Okay,
I don't think Symphony gonna give him an easy A though. I don't think he's gonna do that.
I think Symphony, because it is a weekend class, and and it's to strengthen him. But we all know Kanan is smart. So if I were Symphony, to be straight up blunt, I let him ride.
I don't think he's gonna do that though.
I don't think so either.
I let him ride.
I think because Kanan is smart, he probably see Kanan's potential and everything, and who knows, they might come to an understanding.
Yeah, but he's trying to get with his mom, and he know that Kanan is, he's the cop at the door. So if you want his mom, you got to find a way to break, to break that animosity that he has with Symphony, and that would be one way to do it. I'd sit him down and say, look, you're here for a reason. Your mom put you here. I know you're a smart dude. As far as I'm concerned, you got an A, but you can't just, I do expect you to come to class. I do expect you to, try to get some things done, but I'm going to make it easy for you. He's breaking the rules, but hey, rules are meant to be broken. And particularly if he wants his mom, I don't see it any other way.
Look, next week, I think that conversation is going to be the least of Kanan's worries, because Brock found that bloody shirt.
Yes.
Rookie mistake. Another one, yet another one.
Yeah, because why you hiding bloody shirts under the bed? You could have at least took it with you and put it in your bed.
I was like, where's the shirt?
Yeah, Kevin at the stash house, you had that big coat, wrapped around, just wrap the coat around you, run upstairs, put a shirt on, you're done. I wouldn't have brought that shirt home.
No, not at all. So he's gonna have an earful next week. I know it.
Yeah, Marvin's gonna get that. He's got the hands this week, but I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna get a little more than hands next week.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think Kanan's gonna lie his way, through that. I don't think he's gonna give up Marvin. Rock is gonna have to find out about Marvin's involvement another way, I think.
You don't think he's gonna put 2 and 2 together when she figures out they hit the stash house? Because he can't.
Exactly.
Can't lie about that. Stash house is gone.
According to Marvin, he's gonna try to figure out a way to not tell Rock.
Well, half of their money is gone and stuff.
Unless
too.
He's going to get the other half.
And that bright red Mercedes is all broken up. So what are you gonna do about that?
I don't know what his plan was, but straight out of his mouth, he said that they was gonna keep their mouth shut on it and try to figure out a way around it without telling Rock. So we'll see how well that holds up.
We'll see what we see, but I don't think
Marvin ain't the brightest bulb in the box, though.
But Kevin doesn't look like. Kanan doesn't look like he'd hold much from his mom. I think if his mother asks, if she gets wind of it and asks Kanan, Kanan, I could see him telling the truth.
Perhaps. You never know.
I don't know, because to tell the truth, it's gonna have to give up Marvin. And Marvin went out on a limb to put him in the game after, she said to keep him away. So I don't think he's gonna give up Marvin, but I think they're gonna find out, like you said, with the stash house being hit, all that stuff is gonna come out anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's gonna ask, whose blood is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And gotta come up with somebody's blood.
Yeah.
It's not yours. So
yeah, I'd like to know what kind of lie he gonna come up with to get out of that one. Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's gonna be tough. And because Rock she's no dummy. She knows.
Do y'all see Davina getting killed, or even Davina being killed at the hands of Kanan? Because I saw this chatter online, and a lot of the chatter was referring back to a comment that Kanan said about, you're not a killer until you kill someone you love. And some of the chatter online has been about Kanan possibly killing Davina or possibly killing Lulu. So I'm just curious to know what y'all think about the Davina situation. Do you think that she's going to end up dying? And if so, will it be at the hands of Kanan or one of them?
I always thought that comment that he made was in reference to him killing Sean.
I thought so too.
But to kill Davina, you got to be cold-blooded, because now you kill Davina, and what about the baby? I mean, you got to have no conscience whatsoever. And I just don't see Kanan at this point.
He's not there. He's not there yet.
Yeah,
I don't think so. No.
But if he puts him in a situation where he has to choose, I think he would.
Yeah.
But what is his choice, though? Choose from what? I mean, he's not into anything. So
if he puts him in a situation to where
it affects his mom.
Well, I think that when he finds out that she dropped that dime about the stash house, that will be your telltale, you know. But I still don't see him having a need to go out and kill Davita. If anything, I think Davita might not carry through with Unique, and Unique does something to her, because Unique is just cold-blooded. He doesn't care. You know, I see it may go on more that way than Kanan. I'm hard pressed to see that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Davina, I guess the only thing I can say in her defense is that she gave up the information under the agreement that, you know, Unique would not touch Kanan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's kind of her only saving grace here a little bit, but she still snitched and put his life in danger because, I mean, anything could have happened. You know, they agreed that they wouldn't, but, you know, when it comes down to it and you're in the moment, things could always go left. So she really was being naive with that decision.
Yeah, very naive to think that you can trust Unique for anything. That's like swimming with a shark and feeding them every day, and then one day you cut yourself and don't think that shark won't bite you. You know, so I don't see how or why she thought she could trust Unique about anything.
Think about her mom. At the end of the day, she's a kid, and she was like, he fed her that story about how he helped somebody on his team get well from drugs, and that's all she was thinking about, the end result. My mom getting well. So that's how he won her over.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see that play out too, because I at this point I am worried for Davina.
But I can also see Unique not carrying out his promise too. You know, just being very lackadaisical about it, and then Davita gets upset, and I can see that going too. So it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. But I agree with you. She gave it up because she's concerned about her mom, and that's a tough choice to be in. I mean, to have. Do you give up a friend? Do you try to help your mom? So I got why she did it. The question now is, what does she do?
Right. So
because if I were she, I go back to Kanan and let him know, this is what I had to do. It's all about truth. I had to do this. And that's why your stash house got.
Oh no, that she won't do that though.
Well, I have what were you gonna say, Ron?
No, except that I think it'll come out in the whitewash,
My prediction is for Crown Camacho. I have a feeling that he's gonna get offed. He's been whispering little things to Jess, saying that we're gonna have to work real close together and all this stuff. I think Lulu is gonna get offended by him trying to be close to Jess, and Lulu gonna take Crown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But to Jessica's advantage, or to what she said to Lulu, and Lulu really should be thinking about it. Start your own little broadcasting studio, and do right by your cuz, and get it moving.
Yeah, I thought it was a cute moment how they were Jukebox and her girl were rewatching the tape, and then the girl's parents came in, and it was kind of like cheering her on.
And Dad trying to be
down.
Yeah, trying to be down. Oh, you're fly.
You're fly. I did like what Nicole said. Yeah, super fly.
She was saying it's a stereotype. About, oh, she's heard worse. I'm sure.
Right. I was like, okay. How you know that?
Exactly. Right.
So I think things are smooth now, but in the future, I could see her parents being a big problem, because she was saying like, oh, your parents are nice, but she was like, about some things.
Yeah, because
so their relationship is going to be a problem once the parents.
They probably don't know. They probably don't know her sexuality too.
But I was surprised that they would even have her in the house, because Nicole just seems like she was brought up a certain kind of way. So, I guess one point for the parent in terms of allowing her to be friends with somebody from the other side of the track. But it's going to be interesting if they ever find out in one of these episodes that Nicole is gay, and they may blame it on Jukebox.
It seemed like she didn't have a lock on that door. They're just walking in and out the door.
That's what I told my son. I was like, man, the parents probably won't bust up in there. And we see that was Juke's first experience too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, Jukebox really likes this girl. The coat that she risked her freedom for, you know, she was let off with the coat, but she, instead of selling it to get the money for the studio time, she gave it to Nicole. So I'm like, oh, she's really feeling this girl.
Yeah, she is.
Or maybe she's setting her up. I mean, she knows the girl can get money. She can't. So maybe she
gave that to her because she's feeling her.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but sometimes, you know, what you do comes back tenfold.
Oh yeah. We saw that. That's the only reason why she got off too. Because she saved the security guard last week, and then he did her a solid this week. I wonder, since she gave her the coat, is Nicole's parents, are they gonna say, like, where'd you get that coat, and how'd she get the money to buy that coat? Because they're teenagers.
Yeah, but I'm sure she got I'm sure she gets a real nice hefty allowance, you know. It's very possible that she gets an allowance and she could have, you know, paid for it. Possible. I don't know.
Yeah, but then her parents will probably ask, because if she says Juke got it for her, they already, you know, from what father says, they know that Juke doesn't come from money, you know. So like, where she
get the knockoff? Tell them she got it at Canal Street or something.
I wouldn't say she doesn't come from money. It may not be legal money, but I don't.
No, right. She does come from money. Yeah. She does come from money. Not that, but she doesn't. She doesn't accept that money though. She doesn't accept that money from Marvin.
Right.
Right, but they don't know it. You know, Nicole's parents.
Right. That's what I mean. They don't know her circumstances. They just see, you know, black girl from Jamaica, Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I enjoyed this episode. I am very much so looking forward to next week, because I think we all have a lot of questions and need answers, and we're anxious to see what happens. So, you guys have any other closing comments you want to add?
I like young Kanan. I love seeing him being vulnerable and making mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see that moment that he turns. That's what I want to see. I want to see what it takes, and you know, and it could be Davida, could be that moment. So we'll see.
I think it's going to be a lot. You know, when they start having a lot of losses, and personal losses, you know, his family, boys, girlfriend, his mom. It seems like his mom is his heart.
Yes.
So I think that is something that could really
Yeah, that'll turn it for sure.
Turn it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to everyone for watching. Please drop down in the comment section and let us know what you thought about this episode and give us your predictions as well. Be sure to like the video, click the subscribe button, and also the notification bell so that you get alerted every time we post. And follow us online. We are at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we are going to be back next week to, of course, pick up where we left off. So make sure you're tuned back in once we come back for episode 5. It's going to be mid-season already.
Wow.
Time is flying.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you stick with us. We definitely will have more great content on the way for you guys. Any closing remarks?
Good.
Nothing? All right. Well, thanks again for watching, and have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Flexing